Hello. Today I've got a sort of different video, I guess, from the past couple of ones that I've done. Still a manga haul, but today I wanted to focus on spotlighting some volume ones that most of these I've received recently. I've already read one of them, but four out of the five I haven't read yet. So these are quite new, and I think generally they all are pretty new series as well. A lot of them starting in 2023. So let's just get into it. So the first one I have here is called Garan no Hime, and this is written and drawn by Koruse. An amazing cover. I've got my notes next to me as well because I have some synopsises or whatever to read out. But essentially, what this story is, I'll just read it out. The mechanical civilization has been destroyed and the world is infested with immortal monsters called Monotsuki. Isana, a young girl born in a remote village, wanders into an ancient ruin where her sister has disappeared, and encounters an android that has no memories. Convinced that her sister is still alive, Isana gives the android the name Hime, and they set off on a journey to find her sister. So this is Isana on the right over here, and this is Hime, the android. Looks sick. And what we get first are some amazing color pages, of course. Really, really nice, the detail of this. Here are the contents of it. So I'll just be flicking through these because, again, I haven't read any of these stories or most of these stories yet, but I will eventually. It's just that with ongoing series, I tend to keep them sort of in the lower priority on my to read list just because I like waiting for them to either finish up or get close to finishing before I actually get into it. But some cases, like this, for example, I probably will just start reading volume one straight away and just read as I go. So this here is Hime, and it looks like maybe she has some similarities with Isana's sister, just from looking at the appearances. But the art style is very clean. Reminds me of like 2B a bit. I guess the vibe of Hime, which just means princess, by the way. And so yeah, it seems like a pretty interesting fantasy adventure story with a lot of mystery. Could have some potential for some darker things happening in the future. But it seems very, very fun, and the action seems pretty good as well. So this currently has only one volume out right now, and it was published. The first volume, this one here, was published in 2023. So keep a lookout for this. I don't know when it's ever going to be translated, but this is just a sort of heads up. Maybe in the future, if this gets a lot more popular, you'll see this being translated into English. But yeah, this seems really fun to get into. So eventually I will. Oh, was I wrong? Oh, okay. Yeah. No. So the actual series, like the first chapter, came out in 2023, but the first volume, the actual tankobon, came out in 2024, the 1st of January. So the new year. That's pretty cool. But yeah, keep a lookout for this. Oh, I love the cover so much. I'm really curious to see what they do with the later covers too. But yeah, that was Garan no Hime by Koruse. So let's move on to another volume one. A big trend in today's video is that all of the covers are amazing, super captivating, and this one here is called, well, the English translation is called Empire of the Ant. And this one here, according to my notes, is written and drawn by Yayohi Monzen. And the Japanese name for it is Arai no Teikoku. I was looking this up on AnyList, and for some reason it had the adult tag on it. Because I was looking through it and nothing really seemed too crazy. But I'll just read out the synopsis of this. So, Empire of the Ant is a fantasy set in the country ruled by one queen ant. In this country, the ranks are divided according to the physical structure, and the work ants of the commoners who perform assigned jobs, and the army ants who hold the important titles of the nation, with the title of knight existing under the queen ant. That was a weird sentence. The story begins when a commoner boy, Luya, who works in a drugstore while being sniffed, is imprisoned in a castle prison for some reason. So that's the synopsis there. Essentially, a fantasy story that is focused on the society that is structured like an ant colony, I guess. You have the queen ant, who I assume is this person here. Doesn't seem like a very benevolent queen ant. Then you got the commoner ants, who are the work ants, and the army ants. So these people here look like the army ants. Very lore heavy, and a lot of potential for an amazing world, uh, fantasy world. So this one here was, it started in 2017. I'm not too entirely sure how many volumes there are right now. I have volume 3 as well. So I've got volume 1 and 3. I don't have 2 because I'm still finding that. But it could be maybe 5 volumes right now. Not too sure, so I'll put it in the description. But this boy might be Luya, our main character. So he's imprisoned for some reason, an unknown reason. But the premise of this captured my attention straight away. A fantasy world that is based on the structure of an ant colony. There's a lot of potential for politics and very violent wars to be happening because ants. I wonder if there's like a potential for different, because you have the ants in this case, which are the humans in this case, but maybe are there any other species of insects that may pop up? Because ants love to band together to fight, so that would be interesting going forward. But the art is amazing, character designs as well, super nice, but it fits a lot. It fits a lot to the whole premise and the setting of this manga. So I'm also excited to get into this. I just need to find volume 2. I've got 1 and 3, don't have 2. So from what I'm gathering, like Kuya maybe gets closer to an army ant, and things happen from that. Okay, so it looks like here there's been 6 volumes. Is that volumes? No, those are chapters. Chapters 1, yeah, chapter 1 started in 2017, chapter 6 2018. This volume was published in 2020. And that's the author. So I might as well show off the volume 3 as well. Just do a tiny thing, because focus is volume 1's mainly, but this is what I should remove I haven't even removed the tag on it yet. Give me a sec. Here you go. Beautiful colors. This is volume 3. I think this is cool, yeah. And I'll just do a brief flick through because I don't want to spoil myself too much, but it looks amazing. So yeah, that was Empire of the Ants by Yayohi Monzen. It's an interesting name, a bit hard to pronounce, but that's fine. Okay, let's continue. So this one here is from Jump Comics, and it's called Shoujo Null. And this was written. Okay, so it's got a separate author and artist. So it was written by. Sorry, I'm just trying to read. Kanae Nakanishi, and the art was drawn by Akimasa Tokunaga. And this only has 1 volume out at the moment. And it is serializing in Jump. I believe you can read this in Jump Plus, like the app, the MangaPlus app. But the synopsis is: with the proliferation of organic robots called Gijins, humanity is enjoying prosperity in a 23rd century Tokyo. But when a young man named Ryaha meets a certain Gijin, he uncovers the dark truths of the world. So, 23rd century Tokyo, a futuristic world. Like, immediately I'm thinking probably dystopian. Like, just from, a whole cage of Gijins uh, in a truck, and the truck sort of explodes, something like that. So it is very much giving off strong dystopian vibes, and just looks nice. Looks very interesting, especially with it gets later on in the volume some gorier scenes, body horror, I guess. Oh, here's an advertisement for Kaiju 8. Does also have its cute moments as well, Jump, of course. But I haven't read a shonen work from Jump in a long while, I think. Like, I'm keeping up with Chainsaw Man, but it's mainly been alt manga recently. It seems like it's like a secret organization of things. A lot of mystery. Like, I'm noticing now all of the books I've chosen, all of the volume ones, they're either fantasy or like sci-fi settings, dystopian. So that was unintentional. I wasn't intending to have that common theme or feature between all of them. But yeah, this was published in 2023, and also very excited to get into it as well. Here's the back. Looks like something important for the story, but the cover's amazing too. Let me just remove the whoopee. Super detailed, and the art style is great as well. So yeah, that was Shoujo Null. Let's move on to 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth book. This one is it's got an interesting name, Childeath, and you might have guessed it as well. It is another sort of fantasy setting. Currently, only has one volume out. Here's the back of it. Here's the inside. I'll read out the synopsis. Well, the synopsis is kind of long. So, it is the future, and Earth has long given up on mankind and become able to produce witches, beings that have the sole purpose of killing humans. The time which placed a curse on all of humanity that dooms everyone to die the moment they become an adult, which is kind of crazy. As such, children are now the only remaining life on Earth. But there are various other witches who seek to take even the lives of those children. And despite more and more children dying each day, there's one girl who hasn't given up on the idea of launching a counterattack against the witches. Blood and flesh are sent flying in this atrociously cruel fantasy. So that premise is very cruel. No adults and even more witches deciding to murder the rest of the children. Seems quite gory and violent, which I like because they're not afraid to hold back, especially with a premise like that. You can't really hold back too much. But a lot of cool monster. Like, I'm assuming that's a witch. Is that like crown of thorns on its head? That seems very, very interesting. The witches are my main the main thing that piques my curiosity. A lot of chaos, a lot of fighting, a lot of monsters, a lot of action sequences, which is amazing as well. This was also published in 2023 and it's still ongoing, just the one volume at the moment. So all of these I'm really excited to get into. Like, all of them have great art, great character designs, intriguing premises and plots, and all volume ones. So that was Childeath, and I think this is the witch there, which is so creepy. I really love it when they, a series nails the character designs of like its monsters or its witches, aliens, or whatever. Super memorable. But yeah, that was Childeath, Volume 1. And last but not least, this one here I actually have read, contrary to the others. This one is a very famous and popular book right now. The English title is The Guy She Was Interested in Wasn't a Guy at All, Volume 1. And this is drawn and written by Sumiko Arai. And yeah, this one initially blew up on Twitter. I believe the mangaka had started posting up these little like 4-page manga panels of this series, and it got so popular that it was made into a tankobon. So the best thing about this book is that it is in full color, and not like all the colors. It's just all in green. You got green, black, and white, but it fits the vibe so well. So essentially the story is it's a Yuri romance. I forgot their names because it's been a while, but this girl here, she visits a like a CD store and finds this like you employee there and gets quite attracted to them, thinking that they're a guy, but in actuality, it's our main character, or one of the other main character, who is a girl in the same class as her. And so, a close bond develops over time while she keeps her identity a secret. But it will probably go more into out of the friendship side of things and into the romance side of things. So Volume 2 was announced recently, and it's I don't know if it's actually out yet, but I know it was definitely announced, so I'm picking that up 100%. But this is like the most wholesome and cutest manga that you can ever read right now. So I am really curious though, because this has to get like an English release. It's so popular, insanely popular. So I'm wondering if they will give it the same treatment and put everything in color as well, the green color too. But I highly recommend this if you want a wholesome time, you want to laugh, you want to cry, happy tears, that sort of thing, because it's still very early on into the story, but a lot of potential. But yeah, that was the guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all, by Sumiko Arai. And that's the end of the video today. Just a couple of different volume ones that I wanted to show off. And although I haven't read them, eventually when I do, I'll probably bring them back into another video and talk about them in more depth and explain some of the events. But yeah, some of these here, especially like this one, Shoujo Null from Jump, you can read in English, I believe. You can just use the MangaPlus app. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.